Hey, Facebook friends, plus etc., and anybody who sees this on YouTube afterward, which, by the way, all of these quit of the weeks can now be found on my YouTube channel, which is L Morski, youtube.com/L Morski. But if you just search for my name plus YouTube, you should find it. And also you should probably find it, yoink, if you search for, sorry, that was me swiping away a notification. You should also find it if you search for YouTube plus quitting by design, because all of these videos I made to discuss the 10 steps of strategic quitting can also be found on my YouTube channel, along with video versions of all of the episodes of Quit Happens. So there's a lot going on over on the YouTube channel. Check it out. But this week's quit of the week, as it says in the title, is quit settling. I just got off of a podcast recording with Mike Sherbikoff of the Greatness Foundation. And a big theme that came up in that recording was to use strategic quitting as a tool so that you don't settle. And this is huge. This is kind of like the meta quitting theme. In fact, it's in the introduction to Quitting by Design, the book that will be out shortly, is that settling, as my friend Dave G says, is like essentially suicide of the soul. You know, you'll hear people talk about this soul-crushing job they had, or this job was killing my soul, or this relationship was soul-crushing in some way or another. And I believe that's very true. And in those situations, you're probably settling for something. And how do you get out of settling? What is the opposite of settling? It is quitting and finding something that is more aligned with your values, your goals, your mission, your purpose, your desires for a relationship. You know, if you're quitting a relationship, more in line with, what you're looking for in a city or a mindset or a religion. You know, there are some quits, obviously, that do not get you out of settling. For example, I mentioned in the book, I quit going to Core Power Yoga on a monthly subscription, and I went to a class card because it was less stressful, so I didn't have to go so many times. Well, that's not, I wasn't settling for a class card, but a large majority of the major quits are ways to avoid settling. And what Mike and I were discussing is that sometimes, you're not in something that is terrible for you. You're not in some kind of soul-crushing job. You're in a job that's okay, but you feel as though it's not exactly in alignment with what you want to be doing, with your passion or your, some mission that you feel driven to follow in life. And you realize, okay, this job is going well. It's paying me well. It's not terrible. I'm not, losing sleep at night, but it's not exactly aligned with what I would like to be doing. At that point, even though most things are going well, it's still technically settling. And imagine if you stay in that job for the next 20 years, settling, even though it's just a mild settle. Can you imagine looking back and saying, man, I wish I would have tried following my passion. I wish I would have tried pursuing this goal that would have been a little bit more in line with my mission in life. And in that way, you're going to look back and wish I hadn't settled. And that's where strategic quitting comes in. Hi, Christian. It's the way that you can strategically prevent yourself from a life where you're settling. And again, as I alluded to, it works in jobs, but it also works in relationships. It works in whatever city you choose to live in. There's a million things that you could be settling for. Okay, I'm in a relationship. It's all right, but I sure wish that it looked more like this other thing. Obviously you can try to fix things, but if you're at a point where nothing is fixable and you're not leaving it, then technically you're settling. And this is where strategic quitting comes in for whatever the thing is. You might be in a city that's stressing you out a lot. You're like, well, I really like this job I have in this city, but the commute I have is killing me, and the smog, or, the something about the environment. Don't settle for living in a place you don't want to be. Don't settle for a relationship you don't want to be in. Don't settle for a job you don't want to be in. Don't settle for a circle of friends that doesn't support you in whatever your goals are, whatever that is out of alignment with your true purpose. So it's not like I'm giving you a specific quit. I'm pretty much just telling you this week, is the general overall reason to fall in love with strategic quitting and learn how to use it is because it will prevent you from a life where you settle. And that's, I think, all any of us want in our life, because quitting may seem like a bad word, but settling, I think, is a much worse word. And if you agree with me, then, check out quittingbydesign.com or Quit Happens, the podcast, and you can hear more about how to develop the tools so that when you notice you might be settling for something, you can enact those strategic quitting tools, decide, oh, something's not working, let's fix it, let's conquer the fears about fixing it, let's quit whatever it is in the best way possible, and get onto something where we're not settling, something more in alignment with our true purpose. All right, that's all I've got for today. Hope you have a great rest of your week. I'll see you on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, the podcast, all of the above, and have a great rest of your Wednesday.